Why did the Israeli army use white phosphorus in Operation Cast Lead?
Why are you picking on Israel? Are you aware that the Israeli army is the most moral army in the world?
I am not picking on Israel. I am just not happy about the use of white phosphorus.
You are picking on Israel. You do not comment upon the French army or the American army or any other army. In Libya, the army massacre their own people and you do not comment.
I mention Israel to you because I know you are a strong supporter of the country.
You should support Israel too. It is a wonderful country and you should never forget that the army is the most moral army in the world.
But I just asked about white phosphorus.
You have no idea what it is like to live in Israel. You sit safe in your armchair in London, while we are in the front line under the constant threat of a terrorist rocket falling on our heads. Qassams are rockets filled with explosives and shrapnel intended to kill Israeli civilians. The terrorist organization Hamas keep firing them from Gaza into Israel. We live in terror.
This is terrible, but I know this. I am just interested in why white phosphorus was used by the IDF.
Have you read the Hamas covenant? Do you know that it is anti-Semitic and they want to kill all Jews? They argue for that explicitly.
Yes, I have read the Hamas covenant and I do know that fact, not least because every time I talk to you, you like to remind me.
In that case, why are you starting on Israel? You should be criticizing Hamas instead. The reason you pick on Israel is that you hate Israel and everything about the country.
That is not true.
Yes, it is. You are obsessed with Israel and consumed with hatred.
I am just interested as I am interested in international affairs. Israel comes up a lot in the news.
What news? The news you'll listen to on the BBC, the British-based corporation, or the news that you read in The Guardian, a newspaper that publishes every piece of anti-Israel propaganda that it can lay its hands on.
I actually read it in Haaretz, which is an Israeli newspaper.
You see what an amazing country we are. We publish newspapers in English and put them on the internet. Every anti-Semite and Israel hater around the world use our own words against us. What other country in the region would allow free press like we have in Israel? Newspapers in Arab countries would never dare print something bad about their own country. They would not be allowed to. In Israel we do. We have a free press. If we have a problem, that is it. We are too good.
But what about the white phosphorus?
You will never learn. You have no interest in learning. All you are interested in doing is hating Israel. You read The Guardian. I read it too. Look how many articles that they publish attacking Israel. And then look at the comments. If there is an article on Canada, a massive country, they will be lucky to attract 50 comments, but on the tiny little country of Israel they would get 500 comments on an article.
A lot of those comments are your comments or responses to your comments. If you did not comment, there would be a lot less comments.
I comment because I have to defend Israel. It is under a constant barrage of attack from the world's media. Everything we do is scrutinized to a level no other country receives. We are held to a higher standard. But there is something more about this. The whole idea of the state of Israel they hate, and it is obvious that you hate it too. They want the state of Israel to be wiped off the map. They excuse any act of terror by Hamas or Hezbollah, but as soon as Israel tries to defend itself they complain and point the finger at us as if we are the bad one.
I do not hate Israel. All I want to know is about the white phosphorus.
Why do you want to know? The reason you want to know is because you hate us and you want to use it against us. Look at Iran. They want to get a nuclear bomb so that they can do what they promise and wipe Israel off the map. People like you will not only let them get such a bomb, you will encourage it and try and find them some uranium.
I do not want Iran to have a bomb. But I did not come to ask you about the Iranian nuclear program, I came to ask you about the white phosphorus.
That is your problem. You should be asking about the Iranian nuclear program. They will not just stop with wiping Israel off the map. They will use it to blackmail the world. But rather than asking about important matters such as the Iranian nuclear program and their Holocaust-denying president, you are solely interested in attacking Israel. That is also why you are filming this conversation and making this stupid video. You want to use it to harm Israel. You are not making a film about Iran, it is only Israel that you focus upon for your film. Why are you so obsessed? Why do you hate us so much? I have to be honest with you. I am beginning to suspect that you have a problem with Jews.
I do not hate Israel, and if you really want to know, I am Jewish.
That would explain many things. You have a psychological problem. When you were younger, you probably hated being dragged to synagogue on Saturday mornings when your non-Jewish friends, who you preferred, were playing football. Or perhaps it was your mother's chicken soup that you did not like. I do not know, but I know you have a problem with Israel and maybe also with Jews. Are you one of those ashamed Jews that Howard Jacobson writes about? Do you belong to one of those groups full of self-hating Jews and Israel haters such as Jews for Justice for Palestinians?
No, I do not belong to any of those groups. And I am not an ashamed Jew. In fact, I am proud of my heritage and I also support Israel. I am still friendly with my whole group of friends from Hasbara, the Zionist youth movement that I belonged to when I was younger. All I want to know is why the Israeli army used white phosphorus.
You and people like you are our worst enemy. You are worse than even the lunatic who runs Iran. At least he is honest. He admits that he wants to wipe us off the face of the earth. You try and hide your hatred. You want me dead. Why don't you be honest? If you had a gun you would probably want to shoot me. At least if you get me with a clean shot I will not know about it. But you hate me so much that you would not do that. You would first shoot one leg and leave me in agony, then the other leg and leave me in more agony. After that you would shoot me in an arm and then the other arm. You would not shoot me in the head or in the heart. You would watch me bleed to death. You would take delight in watching me die a slow and painful death.
Don't be silly. No, I wouldn't.
Yes, you would, but even though you would do that, because you are Jewish, even with all your hatred, we would still let you come and live in Israel. That is what a wonderful country we are. As I said before, we are too good.